This case has a bunch of strange elements. A cultish website of dark magicians demon summoning and a killer claiming to be a psychic vampire that would end up taking the lives of two innocent sisters at a park in the Kingsbury district of London. Danyal Hussein was already a very troubled young man, having been reported in 2017 when he was just 15 years old due to his erratic behavior. Teachers at his school found that he was accessing images of corpses on multiple occasions. Around this time, it's also stated he was reported as vulnerable to radicalization and violent extremism. In short, he was seen as a weird kid in school, girls found him weird and avoided him, and his classmates in general found him odd. As early as the start of 2018, Daniel began frequenting the Become a Living God website. The site consists of forums and paid tutorials that claim to teach a person how to elevate their magic, contact demons, and perform various other rituals. It's ran by a grifter named Matthew Lawrence, who also goes by the name EA Coding. He's into black magic, summonings, potions, you name it. He's also written many books related to demons and the occult. The website itself is very, worthy of showcasing.
Get ready for the world's first and only comprehensive black magic training course. Watch it on December 29th at becomealivinggod.com/blackmagic. Now, what you're going to learn in this video is the truth about ancient black magic, as well as the course contents for the black magic training course, and you're going to get answers to frequently asked questions about black magic and about this training course. You're also going to learn how you can get a 20% discount on your tuition cost at the end of this video. Ancient gods, demons, devils, to these objects that you can then use as houses for those entities and then speak to them directly through these idols. This will allow you the most perfect communion with the ancient gods. Section 13, the final section of this course, teaches dark ascent. I will teach you about spirit devotion, what spirits to work with for this, how to know if a spirit is worth your devotion, and how to go about devoting yourself to it in order to gain all of the knowledge and all of the power that that spirit has. And this will lead into the rite of full possession, in which I teach you how to open yourself up to becoming possessed by any spirit that you choose. And then I demonstrate this in a frightening ritual of possession in which another entity takes control of my body and my mind.
One of Daniel's first posts on the website is dated March of 2018, where he states he is a psychic vampire and loves the welcoming community. In total, Daniel made 25 posts here and was not a frequent poster, but rather a frequent lurker, a description used to describe someone who frequents forums but only observes. Most of his posts on the website included him claiming to be a psychic vampire multiple times, as well as inquiring about orbs and fairies. In mid-2020, leading up to the murders of the two sisters, 46-year-old Biba Henry and 27-year-old Nicole Smallman, the COVID-19 pandemic was in full swing and the UK was in a pretty strict lockdown. As a result, many citizens were relegated to staying indoors. Daniel was no different and retreated further into his obsession with dark magic and demons. He also looked up topics on love potions and spells in order to make girls like him, although, needless to say, none of these potion and spell attempts were successful. At some point after his failures, Daniel thought that if he gained an excessive amount of wealth, women would want to be with him. He saw the Mega Million Super Jackpot as his way to wealth and women, but he needed a guaranteed way to win. He turned back to his dark magic and determined that if he made a written pact with the demon Lucifuge Rofocal and offered up human sacrifices, his wish would be granted. He then crafted up a crude contract on a blank piece of paper stating, for the mighty king Lucifuge Rofocal, perform a minimum of 6 sacrifices every 6 months for as long as I am free and physically capable. Sacrifice only women, build a temple for you, do everything that I have promised, and in the terms for him, it says, win the Mega Million Super Jackpot to receive fruitful rewards in return for the future sacrifices I make to you. The rewards could consist of wealth and power, And lastly, to never be suspected of any crimes by the police, and also that the police will never know of any crimes that I have done and that I will do. At the bottom, signed in blood, is Daniel's name. In the days leading up to June 5th, the sisters' family decided to hold a picnic-style birthday party for Biba Henry at the Friant Country Park. At 7:39 p.m. on June 5th, the two sisters can be seen buying last-minute items at a self-checkout while socializing with cashiers. They then leave the store and head toward the park, where they are seen one final time on a camera just outside of the park. Around the same time, Daniel leaves his house wearing a large bag and medical gloves, then takes a bus to the grocery store Morrison's, where he picks up a few Amazon packages. Around 8:40 p.m., he is picked up again on a camera heading into the same park the birthday party was being held at. It's assumed he then lurked around the park anywhere from 5 to 6 hours watching for vulnerable people. The birthday party picnic was being held on top of a hill located within the park, which would have made them easy to spot from afar. The group can be seen in various photos just having a good time and spending time with one another. Now on June 6th, just after midnight, the party wound down and the last few guests were leaving. Biba Henry and Nicole Smallman stayed behind to pick up their mess and hang out with each other for a bit longer. While cleaning up, they took various selfies. The last photos were of the pair playing with fairy lights at about 1:13 in the morning. They looked completely immersed in what they were doing and would have been unaware of any outside factors. Soon after this photo is when Danyal Hussein emerged from the shadows wielding a knife. He ambushed Biba Henry first, surprising her and stabbing her 8 times. The third stab landed in her heart, which killed her shortly after. Seeing the attack on her sister, Nicole Smallman put up a fight against Daniel while she was viciously stabbed 28 times. Nicole succumbed to her injuries during the struggle. Daniel's hand was sliced multiple times during this frenzied attack, with some of the wounds being deep lacerations. At some point after the attack, he dropped his knife onto the grass in the park. Daniel then dragged the sisters' bodies about 75 meters away into a wooded area with bushes and put them side by side in a close embrace. He went back to the picnic area, where he rolled up some of their belongings in their own picnic blanket to take with him. He saw the sisters' phones while cleaning up the crime scene and threw them into a nearby pond located within the park. Just after 4 a.m., Daniel can be seen on CCTV footage returning to his father's home while not wearing any pants. His jacket is tied around his waist, and we can see the injured hand being jammed into the jacket to stifle the bleeding. Later that same evening, at 6:15 p.m., Daniel went to the hospital to be treated for his injuries. While there, he told medical staff that he had been mugged and during the struggle had gotten a hand injury. Just a few hours later at 9 p.m., the two sisters were reported missing by Smallman's boyfriend Adam Stone as well as their mother. Reportedly, police were slow to react. On June 7th at 1 a.m., Daniel placed multiple bets on the Mega Millions jackpot. He didn't win on any of the attempts. Due to police sluggishness, the sisters' family and friends went to the park in search of the pair. Biba's glasses were recovered by a family friend near the picnic spot and were passed on to police. Adam Stone and his father continued the search, and at 12:30 p.m., Adam's father located a blood-coated knife on the grass. Soon after, Adam discovered Biba Henry and Nicole Smallman's bodies in some nearby bushes. He fell to his knees in agony. 2 officers arrived soon after and secured the scene. The scene was then processed over the following days. Some of the sisters' belongings were found at a nearby refuse center. A bloody pillow as well as blankets were recovered. Many of the recovered items can be matched to photos taken during the party. 10 days after the attack on June 16th, Daniel reported his bank card as lost in order to cover his tracks. On June 30th, the case had a major breakthrough. Blood found at the scene produced a familial link to Daniel due to a family member's DNA being in the national database. Over the next hour and a half, police find damning evidence that all points to Danyal Hussein. On June 3rd, Daniel can be seen on CCTV footage leaving his father's residence and going to Asda, a supermarket-type store in the UK. Here he buys a few miscellaneous items as well as a knife set. The knives have the same style as the knife found at the scene. They then find the camera footage of Daniel picking up an Amazon package from a local store containing shovels and a black face mask, then going into the park at 8:40 p.m. and not being seen again until 4 a.m. while returning to his father's home, placing him at the scene at the time of the murder. In the early AM hours of July 1st, police confronted Daniel at his mother's house in southeast London. Hussein answers the door and is promptly taken into custody.
That's it. That's it.
Take your hand for a
Mate,
video.
you're under arrest. Come out. Come out the address. Keep walking towards me. Keep walking towards me. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Hands on your head. Stay where you are. Face me. Hands on your head. Stay where you are. You're under arrest, alright?
Yeah, I'll give it to face the car. Yeah?
Yeah.
From Uniform Zero, just confirm subject secure.
Occupant number 6, if you just stay where you are for now. If please aren't with
I think I'll be
taser.
clear in a second.
Is there a mum in there?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, madam, if you come to the door for us, please. Okay.
Do you have any injuries?
Yeah.
Just the wrists from the cuffs?
No.
Oh. How did that happen? How did that happen?
Sorry.
How did that happen?
Oh, is this the interview?
That was the question. The injuries on your fingers. What happened there? Okay, don't worry.
I was getting the wrong.
Don't.
Inside Daniel's bedroom, police found a contract to a demon offering up 2 female sacrifices in order to win the lottery jackpot, as well as the promise of giving 6 female sacrifices every 6 months in the future. At the bottom of the contract, police found Daniel's name signed in blood. There was also a blood offering to a demon queen Byleth in exchange for making his crush at school fall in love with him. Additionally, losing lottery tickets were found, as well as odd symbols littering a table within the room. In the aftermath of Biba and Nicole's deaths, 2 police tasked with guarding the scene went back under the crime scene tape to take selfies with the bodies from about 12 feet away multiple times. One of the officers superimposed his face next to the pair's corpses and sent the picture to a WhatsApp group of over 40 people, as well as individual messages to friends. In the messages, statements such as, "Unfortunately, I'm sat next to 2 dead birds full of stab wounds," and other disrespectful messages were exchanged. The messages were eventually leaked out, and as a result, the 2 officers, Dennis Jafer and Jamie Lewis, were fired from their jobs. Additionally, the pair were given jail sentences of 2 years and 9 months apiece. They have been physically assaulted multiple times in prison so far by other inmates. In court, Daniel was unable to physically attend because of a COVID outbreak in his prison wing. He attended virtually, displayed on a TV screen. Daniel was nonchalant and cold about what he had done during the trial, displaying some odd behavior such as turning sideways when he was being addressed and even crouching onto the chair at one point. He denied basically everything during the trial and claimed he wasn't guilty of any wrongdoing. He even went as far as to say that someone planted his blood at the scene to frame him. The police duo tampering with the crime scene gave Daniel's defense team a strong case for crime scene contamination, which they attempted to utilize in the hearings to no avail. Danyal Hussein was ultimately found guilty of the murders of Biba Henry and Nicole Smallman. He was sentenced to a minimum of 35 years in jail, with the maximum potentially being life imprisonment. This was a truly tragic case. If it hadn't been for Nicole fighting back and giving Daniel those hand injuries, he very well could have went on to attempt those other sacrifices referred to in his blood contract with the demon. But that's about all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do to help out the channel. I'm Jeremy the Crime Historian, checking out. Peace, guys.